I lost count at how many fragrances I have, around 500, and today I'm going to share with you my 10 most impressive as I went through my whole collection and wanted to put all of some of my favorites, but also some of the ones that have the greatest wow factor into one video. So stay tuned and remember to give a very impressive click to the like button if you like the video and subscribe. Let's go ahead and begin. So I've got a mix here of some niche and some designer. I've got some freshies and I've got a little more cooler weather, sweeter, spicy, darker fragrances. So pretty good range of prices and styles. And let's go ahead and begin with this one right here. My favorite leather fragrance, one of my favorite fragrances, period, and probably my top 5. It's this one right here. The bottle is ridiculous, but the fragrance itself is amazing. I'm talking about Philipp Plein No Limits. This stuff is this very realistic leather note that has a very distinct sweet spiciness coming from some chocolate. You've got some dark chocolate, possibly even some white chocolate. You've got some cinnamon. You've got some cardamom. You've got this very distinctly leathery, sweet, spicy fragrance that I would say many people would perceive as a niche profile. Not everybody would love this fragrance, but if you like leather fragrances, you like something unique, you're going to smell different than everybody else. And if you are interested in a nuclear beast of a fragrance, this one right here is truly phenomenal. 12 plus hours, room filling projection. I mean, I would say the fragrance of this thing fills the upstairs of my house when I wear it. 4 sprays is definitely all that you need. Philipp Plein, No Limits, super impressive stuff. Next, we will go with a freshie. This is one that's popped up in videos every couple months because I just want to keep on putting this before you so that if you're interested in this kind of thing, you can check it out. This one is an aquatic leather fragrance. This is from Kenzo. This is Kenzo Homme EDP, specifically the 2022 version. And so this is like a blue aquatic fragrance at the heart. And so it is fresh, it's aromatic, it's aquatic, it's sort of an Ambroxan sweet kind of aquatic feel, almost like a Dylan Blue. But then you've got a powerful leather note that sets it apart from every other blue fragrance I have. I have around 30 of them, more than that now. And this one is the only one that combines that beautiful sweet aquatic with a very realistic, powerful leather note. This is another one that is a 14-hour fragrance. It will stay on your clothes for weeks, just as the Philipp Plein. So this is my go-to leather fragrance for the summer, the spring. It's amazing. Kenzo Homme EDP. Be sure you get the 2022 version. It's different than the previous EDP. Let's go with a niche fragrance. I wore this fragrance last night. As you will notice, I am not in the Sillage Scents Cologne cave where I normally broadcast from. I'm away for a few days, getting a ton of work done. I built a website for one of my other online ventures, dug into taxes. I mean, I got a lot done, but it's been more business than pleasure. But anyway, I wore this just because I thought, hey, I'm here. It's evening. I've got this incredible box of fragrances. What is the one that blows me away the most? And this is absolutely in the top 2 or 3 most impressive fragrances that I own. This is from Nasomatto. This is Pardon. And it is a magnolia chocolate oud fragrance. There's this honey sweet magnolia note. There is this rich chocolate, and then there is an oudy base, which is it's the most quality, high-end, impressive oud fragrance that I own. But it's not mostly oud. It's mostly that sweet, chocolatey magnolia, which is a unique note. I have nothing in my collection that smells like this. It smells like the most raw natural materials were used to make it. Super impressive, easily, 8+ hours, good projection, very unique. Absolutely love this stuff. And you can often find it around $100. It's an extrait de parfum. 3 or 4 sprays is absolutely all you need. I absolutely love this stuff. Super impressive. Another designer, and this one to me is my most impressive iris fragrance, and it's not Dior Homme Intense. It's not Dior Homme Parfum. It's this one right here, Valentino Uomo Intense. For my preferences, this is the go-to iris fragrance and other things that smell like it, because it is this vanillic, warm, sweet take on an iris fragrance. It's got a powerful lipsticky iris note, but it's also got this vanillic sweetness, and this is the kind of fragrance that works perfectly in the spring. It is perfect for the fall. It's perfect for the winter. I even sometimes will wear it in the summer. It is just, it meets all of my preferences for a fragrance. I love the note of iris. I love sweet fragrances. This one's got a touch of spice, a touch of woods as well. If you were only going to get one iris fragrance, without question, this would be my recommendation, even over the Dior's. I love this stuff. Valentino Uomo Intense. All right, we'll go with another niche fragrance. We'll go with a freshie. This one is impressive to me because it took a DNA or a style of fragrance that was sort of overdone, and I think a lot of people were getting burnt out on it, and it just gave just the right kind of a twist and turned it into something that I now prefer over all the other fragrances in this style. I'm talking about this one right here, Mancera Cedrat Boise. Now, this is not the most hyper unique fragrance, but it is often compared to Creta Ventus, not because it smells like it, but because it is a citrus, fruity, woody fragrance with some dry notes. There is, in the intense version, there's a touch of oud, there's some leather. And so this leather woodiness in the base mixes with this very bright, very happy citrus and fruity opening. And I prefer this over Nishane Hasava, which I also own. I prefer it over Creta Ventus and all of the clones. This is my favorite, and I think most impressive fragrance in this category, in this style. Absolutely love it. I do actually prefer the Intense over the original, but both of them are fantastic. Again, Intense Cedrat Boise. Another designer, this one is my favorite Jean Paul Gaultier fragrance. It is in my top 10. Really, this right here is probably my top 10 fragrances, actually. Certainly all in the top 20. I love this fragrance. It is so perfect for every situation outside of a hot summer day. This fragrance will blow you away. I'm talking about Le Male Le Parfum. You know, I wrestled over Elixir and Le Parfum for the past year. Which one's my favorite? Without question, it's this one. You've got vanilla, you've got some cardamom, you've got a lot of similarities, or some similarities to the original Le Male, but there is this very rich sweetness, this rich spiciness. You've still got some of the aromatic lavender in the opening with that vanilla, but there is just the right amount of iris, and it is what we would call a lipsticky iris note that is discernible, and the quality of 15% of the fragrance is the iris, but it is so distinct. It is such a standout. It is so discernible, mixing with that rich, deep, spicy, sweet goodness. To me, I have tried 4 different clones of Le Male Le Parfum, and there's still not one that I could point to and say it's truly a replacement for this fragrance. No one has nailed it yet. I don't know how they could at the $30 price point. This stuff is truly amazing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Le Male Le Parfum. Okay, we're going to go with a niche fragrance next. This one is a Parfums de Marly fragrance that I first was exposed to the DNA from a generic perfumes clone. And I was so blown away at the texture and the spiciness. It is a deep, resinous fragrance, but it also has some very interesting notes and some spices. I'm talking about Parfums de Marly Habdan. This is surprisingly a caramel apple fragrance, but that is really more of a nuance. What really makes up the heft of the fragrance is this resinous frankincense and some very rich, deep, fresh spicy notes and warm spicy notes. So you get this very complex, spicy, semi-sweet fragrance that is the epitome of fall. This is like the ultimate fall fragrance. It is a niche profile for sure. You have to appreciate something like a resinous, frankincense-leaning fragrance, but with those other notes, it's just magic in the air. I'm talking about Parfums de Marly Habdan. All right, we'll go with another designer. This one is my most impressive blue fragrance. I'm actually wearing it today. I haven't worn the original in months, and I have a lot of clones of this fragrance, but the original, none of the clones genuinely match the beauty of this fragrance. I'm talking about this one right here, Yves Saint Laurent Y EDP. The EDP is still my favorite. You've got that sweet, rich apple in the opening. You've got of course, a very aromatic heart. You've got some sage. You've got some juniper berries. You've got this almost minty kind of aromatics with that sweetness in the opening. And then you've got ambroxan that really mimics ambergris, that sort of deep, rich, this is a weird way to say it, but that almost chewy kind of a texture of ambergris. And so all of that together, the layers of this fragrance are super impressive. It's one of the most three-dimensional fragrances that I own. If you have experienced it, you know what I'm talking about. I like many of the other flankers, but none of them capture the complexity, in my opinion, of this one right here, Y EDP. Next. Now this one is impressive because of the realism. It is it is the most realistic tobacco fragrance that I have, and it's mind-blowing. Performance on this one, I'm not so sure about. I don't think that it has great performance. That's been my experience anyway. But Fort and Manle Late Harvest is the most beautiful, ripe cherry tobacco fragrance that you will ever smell. It's a very realistic tobacco. You'll notice the label looks kind of like a cigar label. It is like a cigar tobacco, just very lightly smoky, but a rich tobacco, almost like a moist chewing tobacco, as gross as that sounds to some of you. I used to chew tobacco over 20 years ago, but it has that rich, deep sweetness, and the cherry note in this smells like an actual fresh, ripe cherry that you have just sliced into. Again, similar to Nasomatto Pardon, it smells like the most pure, real, not synthetic raw materials. It smells very natural, and I think that's why it's so impressive. It really only seems to be about a 5 or 6 hour fragrance on my skin. Let me know in the comments if you have it and you have discovered it to be different. I very well could be going nose blind. I wish it was more like a 7 or 8 hour fragrance, but I don't even care. It is so impressive. It's so awesome. It's perfect for a date night, perfect for evenings, 5, 6 hours is all that I get, but I would buy it again without hesitation. Again, Fort and Manle Late Harvest. And finally, the last one in the video is also a niche fragrance, and this one is from Nishane. They have several very impressive fragrances, but this one to me is the most impressive that I've tried. Ani and Ani X, I really, really, really like them. Probably equal to this one, but as far as how impressive, how complex and mind-blowing the artistry in the fragrance is, this one is just without question at the very top of the list. I'm talking about Fan Your Flames. And this is a coconut rum fragrance in the opening, but once you begin to go down into, so you think you're going to get like this kind of tropical drink fragrance, but then you start to get this very deep, rich tobacco spiciness, a very textured tobacco, a very complex, boozy tobacco, spice, coconut fragrance. It again smells incredibly natural, incredibly high quality, very three-dimensional and textured. If you want a spicy tobacco fragrance with a twist that's probably going to be different than anything else that you own, this is definitely one that I would recommend. I'm talking about Fan Your Flames by Nishane. I would really love to hear from those of you who are watching. What are maybe your top 3 most impressive fragrances, or maybe your 1 most impressive fragrance? Remember to give a very impressive click to the like button if you like the video, and subscribe. I'm Justin. This is Sillage Scents.